Hey, I'm Chase Fly with Outdoor Empire.
And I'm Ron Spomer, and this is day 2 of 30-06 week. What have we got today, Chase?
Today we got auto loaders.
Auto loaders.
Yesterday we did a couple lever actions, and then did a little history.
A lot of history.
Yeah, a lot of history.
Yeah, if you didn't catch that one, the original bolt action, well, not quite the original, but the first sporting original was the Model 70 Winchester. But before that came a lever action Winchester. Way back in 1895, we covered those plus a modern lever action, the BLR Browning. But today we're really modernizing.
Yeah.
We're going auto loader, and they'll be surprised at how far back these auto loaders actually go. But before we go there,
a word from our sponsor. We are grateful to Maven Optics, who decided to sponsor this 30-06 week series. They make a great line of scopes and various optics, binoculars, and the whole thing. Mm-hmm. And they gave us these RS 1.2 scopes to use for this week, so that we could use the same scope on every rifle we test. That's something we didn't do back when we did 308 week. Yeah. And this kind of helps put everybody on the same playing field.
And they're a great target rifle, and got a lot of magnification here at 15 power and nice fine lines on the reticle. A little bit heavy for a hunting scope for me, but then they've got hunting scope lines too. We wanted to really make sure we were seeing the target clearly for precision shooting. So that's why we're using these really big scopes. It's a 2.5 to 15 by 44. And we'll see just how well the rifles shoot. I don't think we have to blame our eyes on this one.
No, not at all.
Yeah. Now, before we get rolling on these auto loaders, we need to sight them in. We bore sighted them with a rough bore sighter. So now we're going to see if we can get on paper. Once we've done that, it's group time.
Yeah. Also should note, we did clean them up. Well, I can't take credit for that. Ron did a little bit of cleaning. We passed a swab through there a few times, so all the barrels should be nice and clean, starting from about the same spot.
All right. Let's get this thing zeroed.
All righty.
We won't even tell them what it is before we zero it. Here, have some ear protection.
Yeah, thank you.
All right, 100-yarder, here we go.
You are 1,
3 right,
2, 3, 4 inches right and 1 high.
4 right, all right. Yeah, this is an unusual 2-stage trigger. I got to really come back. I wasn't even sure it was going to go off that time. But it's not bad once you get it figured out. What am I, 3 high?
Yep, you're 3 high, but you're just, half an inch to the right, so it's pretty good left and right.
Okay, I think we'll call it good. Hey, we're zeroing with the Winchester 150 grain ballistic silver tips. And we didn't have enough of that ammunition to do our serious accuracy test, but we're getting zeroed with it, and it's actually proving out to be pretty accurate stuff in most of the rifles we've worked with so far. Now this is going to be our first shot, 50 yards for 0. 50-yard target. Straight up, huh? 2
I don't
inches
got
up.
it dialed in on the scope here at 50. I'll take your word for it.
Yeah, it looked pretty good. Throwing brass all over, huh?
Nice and hot.
Going out to 100. We've got 2 holes in the paper. Dead center.
Nice. 3 right, 1 high.
All right. You're right. Let's bring her left. I think we're ready to start our competition here for accuracy on the auto loaders.
Okay.
Now, folks, normally we do 3 rifles, sometimes 4. Well, we got something new for you today. There's only 2.
Yeah.
There just aren't a lot of auto loading 30-06 rifles on the market anymore.
Right.
Remington used to have one, but that's gone. So it's the Browning right here and the Benelli.
Yep.
I couldn't think of any others, but maybe there's something out there we missed. At any rate, we're going to compare these 2.
Yeah.
Chase here brought the Benelli. I got the Browning. They were both loaned to us by their respective companies. So we'll just see which one head to head is going to shoot the best. Now, this is the Browning BAR that came out of the brilliant mind of John Moses Browning, who came up with the first Browning automatic rifle BAR in about 1917, 18. Mm-hmm. And the military adopted that. And in World War II, especially, our troops carried the BAR as a squad weapon. 30-06 auto. I think that one was fully auto. These are semi-auto. But I might be wrong on that one. You military experts out there could answer that. The upshot, though, is that worked so well on a 30-06 as an auto-loading rifle that became a civilian version. And it's been pretty popular in some parts of the country, especially where there's a lot of action shooting, like running deer, running boar.
Okay.
I guess they're real popular over in Europe for the running driven boar. Because obviously when you've got a whole sounder of pigs coming across and the limit is multiples, you can take them out pretty slick with an auto loader. Well, these people who can shoot well at running game can do it.
Yeah. I think that's all they shoot over there, it seems. A lot of running game.
They do a lot of driven hunts over there, don't they?
I think so.
Used to do a lot over here, but we've kind of gotten away from it. We're getting more into the precision shooting. But let's just see how precisely this thing can shoot.
Okay.
And then we'll just talk about it a little bit afterwards. So the grouping ammo that we're going to work with, we're starting off with, we've got some Remington, 150. We have enough rounds of those that each gun gets to shoot 3. And we're going to shoot 3-shot groups is all, just to give us an idea of the potential of these rifles. Now this one has a pretty cool little trapdoor with the magazine. I think it's removable. I haven't even tried. I haven't looked at the directions.
It says it is, but yeah, we haven't fiddled with it enough to figure that out.
But that's pretty sleek. I like that. I like it. You're not going to drop it out. It's still hanging there. That's
sure thing.
Well, let's see what 3 rounds of the Remington 150 grain will do at 100 yards with Mr. BAR. You know what? I think I'm going to hold the forends down on these. I prefer shooting with my control at the back, but fairly light rifle. Yeah, you know what, guys? It never goes off if you don't actually chamber around.
I think I learned that lesson yesterday.
Yeah, much lighter trigger than I was thinking the first shot.
Okay.
Kept tightening it and tightening it. Straight up.
So you were 1 inch high and 2 inches left of center.
Right on the black edge.
And your velocity was 2,904.
Okay. Didn't load. It did not eject. That was not good. Strike one for the BAR. Brand new rifle. We'll see if it fixes things here. Yeah, that I pulled left. Not used to that trigger yet.
Okay, and so that one went about 1.25 inches left of your first.
Yeah, and we failed to eject again. Second one. Not something you want in your rifle. Wow, that trigger is surprisingly light. Right beside the other hole. That one broke a little more cleanly.
Okay.
This thing takes a little getting used to. I think I'll shoot better on my next bunch. Okay, what sort of speeds did we get here?
So I noted them, the 3. Do you want me to look at the 2 high, low, and average over there?
Yeah, punch up the high, low, average.
The gun safe?
Hang on. So we had 3 in a row that didn't eject.
Interesting. Okay. Okay, high is 2904. Low is 2842. Average 2869.
And then we'll go measure the group size and put her in there. 165 grains up next. This last one showed potential though, with those last 2 hitting the same hole. I wonder if I can go to the same target. I think I can. You know what I'll do? I'm going to take it right. 1 MOA right will help settle these into a new location. Just the weight alone ought to do it, but you never know. Felt good.
Okay, so you're in the upper left of that left target, right? That's where you hit. You hit 2 inches, 1.25 inches low, and 1/2 inch right of that upper left bullseye.
Upper left bullseye, way up there.
Yeah.
Wow. Wouldn't have expected it to go way up there. Well, that one almost ejected. It's right at the mouth. Definitely has some issues. Yeah, this one went quite a bit higher.
Okay, that one is better. That's right by your first shot of the last group. So you are
right on the
1 3/4 inches left and 1 1.5 inches high of the center bullseye. Boom. Okay, and that one's right there too. It's just an inch, 3/4 of an inch higher than your last shot.
Yeah.
And
Let's
a quarter
run
inch
the numbers,
to the left.
please. Once again, we failed to eject.
High is 28.42. Low is 28.24. Average is 28.32.
Pretty consistent there. All righty. Now we'll shoot the 175 grain loads, and then we'll go measure our groups down in the targets.
Okay.
You know, I don't know that we tested the trigger on this one. Let's just pull that and find what kind of it strikes me as surprisingly nice trigger.
Yeah?
Yeah, and it's not heavy. 3¼ pounds.
Okay.
Pretty impressive. Really surprised me when I
Jot that
first
down.
tried to shoot it with no load in it. I was pulling and going, talk about a heavy trigger. I think I was up to 10 pounds on that one. Yep, 3¼ pounds. Nice and consistent too. Cool. Now I get to do that fun magazine load. I love that magazine swinging down like that. Whichever Browning employee came up with that idea gets a gold star in my book. That is slick. No dropping in the magazine. It's right there. I love it. And you load from the bottom instead of the top. What's not to like? Well, it doesn't eject. Oh, there is that. Get this thing out of my way. Just for giggles, I am going to hold my sandbag here at the back rather than fore-end down. We'll see if we get a better group. And given the holes we have there on the left, I'm going to the right top circle.
Okay.
I will aim at the bottom of that circle in case our shots go higher. Make sense?
Yep, got it.
All right. Load it up, fire in the hole. Nice.
Real high. So it's actually on that center line of the bullseye in the center, but
Yep,
all the
way
way
up
up
there.
the top in the letters of the...
Yeah,
Sorry,
I
you
see
see
it,
it?
my friend. That is really high.
Yeah.
It always surprises people when you shoot heavier loads that are going more slowly. Instead of dropping on the target, they are climbing.
Yeah.
All has to do with how it releases from the muzzle and what the vibration is.
Yeah.
Let's hope this doesn't climb over the top of the target.
Didn't eject.
Didn't eject again. No way, I tell you.
Okay. So you're
Stayed
3
on the
inches
line.
to the left and a 1/2 inch high of the center of the bullseye of the top right bullseye. So yeah, 3 inches, 2.5, 3 inches lower than the first shot.
See it.
Okay.
Wonder why that first one was so high.
Huh.
Well, we had a major problem.
Yeah.
Wouldn't eject. It's like, I don't know, the spring is too strong, the return spring in the back, we're not getting enough gas in. I wonder if they have an adjustment on the gas flow. I don't think they do. With some autoloaders, you can regulate the gas flow that comes back and drives a piston to drive the bolt.
Okay.
And it just seems like it's not getting enough to quite get there. It just hangs up at the mouth. It doesn't feel all that hard on the spring.
Right.
So I think that's what the issue is. Now, could be one of the ports is closed up or didn't. Maybe you need to open it more. We'd have to do some research on it. The upshot, though, is brand new rifles from a company like Browning. They're going to fix that for you. And
Sure.
they're going to be responsible. But gosh, who wants to buy one and then find out you have to send it back and have that kind of work done on it?
Well, if I were a fighter pilot, I wouldn't want those kind of odds on an eject, but
Oh,
luckily
dear,
we're
you
not.
would go there. Now, something interesting. Okay, there, it's really fine. I kind of like the fact that their information on the barrel is fine lined and not very deep, but I'm not seeing where it says 30-06, do you?
Not on that side. Nope, not marked there.
And I don't see it on that side.
There it is,
either.
yeah, 30-06 Springfield only.
I just can't see it in this light.
Yeah.
Oh, that is really faint. Okay, so we're not shooting the wrong ammo in the rifle.
Yeah, confirmed.
Set it on the box. I should have looked on the barrel.
Well, what do we say we hit on a few of the stats of this particular one, since this is a currently produced model that you can get?
Give it.
All right, so this is the Browning BAR Mark III. There's several different trims, and this is the standard Mark III. It's an auto-loading, gas piston, 7-lug rotating bolt in there. Does that sound about right?
Kind of surprised me on the 7 lugs, but let's look. Oh yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. One big one for 7. Kind of looks like I can't see the other side all that well.
So you're counting the lugs here going vertically.
Yes.
These are a little different than
that's a rotating
other
bolt.
I've seen. Okay.
Yeah, the bolt slides forward, and then there's a little cam in there, and that whoop, locks it in. And people who shoot auto-loading shotguns or pump-action shotguns are familiar with that.
Gotcha.
Most of them will have that rotating bolt head, they call it.
Okay.
And that locks it in there. And that's why you see those. I don't know if you're familiar with the bolt-action Weatherby rifles, and they've got 6 or 9 of those lugs in groups of 3 around the bolt, and they all close in at once. It's a little challenging to get them all to close with the same amount of tension, the same degree. So as a fine machinery going on in there and get that all precise. But boy, once you do it, it seems to work pretty darn well.
Now you see 2-lug rifles or 2-lug bolts. You see 3-lug. You see 7-lug, 9-lug. You're telling me. Does it matter? Is there an advantage to having more or fewer? It's just the design of the particular manufacturer, and I imagine there's opinions on the matter. But I mean,
and we'll probably get some opinions too. Some people are going to say, So the double, it seems to me, is the easiest to get everything lined up perfectly. We talk about gunsmiths blueprinting actions, so that everything is precise. You want those lugs to lock up with the same tension, top and bottom, or side to side, or however they're set up. If you only have 2 of them to do, it seems to be a lot easier to get everything squared up just perfectly. With 3, 1 more, but you can balance it. 6, holy mackerel.
Your machining's got to be right on.
Your machining has to be so precise. And both in the receiver, the front receiver ring, where they have the recesses that they lock into, as well as the bolt pieces sticking out of the bolt body itself. So I think it's more challenging when you have multiples. Now, someone might argue, but if you have multiples and one happens to shear, then you've got backups. And back in the days when Mauser came out, they had dual lugs, and in case one would shear, they had another one at the back of the bolt. And someone would use the handle of the bolt as a sort of a security in case that bolt came flying back at the shooter. You had another way to stop it. But I haven't heard of anybody having a bolt shear like that on modern rifles. And this is going back to my childhood in the 60s. I never heard of that sort of a thing. So I think it was a problem earlier when they weren't quite so confident in their metallurgy, perhaps, or the quality of their steel. I don't know. Some of the older guys on here who've got a little more experience with the military and stuff might have some answers on that, but I'm sure it happened in the early days.
I'm going to ask you another amateur question that probably a lot of Ron Spomer's fans are going to laugh at. But tell me this, semi-automatic versus auto-loader, tomato, or do they have different meanings?
Way different meanings.
Tell me.
That's a big one in the Second Amendment thing, when you're always talking about getting these automatic rifles off the streets and everything. And automatic, fully automatic, means you pull the trigger and hold that trigger, it goes bang, 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 machine gun. That's fully auto. Semi-auto is it automatically loads another round into the chamber after you make the shot. It's the gases or the energies of that shot that drive the bolt back and reload another. And then you got to pull the trigger again to make it go off. So it's a semi-automatic. It's an auto loader, not an auto shooter. So
that's my question, is because I've heard you use interchangeably, I think, auto loader for this style of rifle. That action, but also semi-automatic. So there it can be the same, but an auto loader, is it true to say that an auto loader could also be fully automatic?
You'd have to, now you're talking semantics.
Exactly. I'm just trying to keep things straight in my head.
We just, you know how people are, they just short everything. You're not going to use my full name, Ronald the Master Spomer, Lee Ambler III, any of that kind of stuff. You're just calling me Ron. So
Thank you.
We'll just call this an auto.
The Master.
But it is an auto loader, not a fully automatic rifle. Good question, though.
I mean, there's questions like this I got sometimes, and who do you ask but Ron Spomer?
Who are you going to ask?
All right, let's carry on. This is a 22-inch sporter barrel, polished blue steel finish.
Yes, it is.
It's
aluminum right here, though, right? Receiver's
yeah, looks to
aluminum.
be, yeah.
Keeps your weight down.
Now, I read it's a single stage trigger. Does that sound right to you after shooting it?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, and I was really impressed. It's light. We went 3 1/4 pound pull.
Right.
And I didn't feel a lot of creep. It wasn't hard. This is one of the better triggers I felt on an auto-loading rifle.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm pretty impressed with it.
Got a crossbolt safety. The stock is made of Turkish walnut, and it is shim adjustable, they say. So I assume that's for the...
Yeah, I can see the shims right in here. So you'll go back through here, take off the rubber,
okay,
and then access the screw and take the butt off and put a different shim in case you want to be a little shimmed left or right or up or down. Or
gotcha.
Usually that's important on a shotgun, not so much on a rifle, but yeah, it's a simple thing to throw in there. Why not?
Okay. It's got we've talked about that 4-round detachable box on a hinged floor plate magazine. Kind of interesting.
It is.
And
I'm
then,
not sure how you take that out of its recess in there. I can see they got a little hinge right here. Somehow you get it off of there, but I can't quite figure out how it's done. So you'll have to
read the manual.
Us, guys. Yeah, if it had a manual in the box, I didn't see it. But at any rate, I don't need to take it off because I just love that.
Yeah,
it's so handy. Cool.
Yep. Okay, and then the final couple things. This rifle weighs 7 pounds 2 ounces. It's 44 and 3/8 inches end to end.
Mm-hmm.
And then a list price on that MSRP is $1,479.99.
I will say this: my cousin, when I was growing up, was 10 years older than I was, and he was sort of my hero who got me started hunting and everything.
Okay.
He had an autoloader like this in 30-06, and that guy didn't miss.
Okay.
It was just amazing. Of course, he was my hero. My brother and I just like, oh, Alan will get him. Alan always gets one. Sure enough, he comes over the hill dragging another deer.
Yeah.
It was really remarkable. He loved the autoloader 30-06 for deer hunting.
Good to know.
Yeah, put it to good use.
All right, shall we try that Benelli?
Let's go have a Benelli. It sounds like a flavor of ice cream or something.
It kind of does. Oh, gelato.
It'd be a gelato in this case, wouldn't it?
Yes, it would be. You want to do stats first on this one? Here we go. Here's the Benelli.
Stats are us. We better learn how to run this thing. I think I see where the switch is. Drop the bolt. Yeah, right there. Okay. This magazine just comes out. I think it's like a magazine release. Oh, yeah.
Yep.
That one drops out. No hinge. Metal. All right.
It's a 5-round magazine.
Okay. Yeah, you see it's extended a little bit.
Yeah.
That's not too bad for that comfort carry that I like to talk about all the time. Nice and smooth, no hard edges. Like it. Okay. Good.
Okay. So this is the Benelli R1 Endurance model, and I think they have just a couple of variations. They don't have a ton of chamberings, but 30-06 Springfield is one of them. So we were glad to be able to try it out.
Yeah, good universal.
It's obviously it's that semi-auto loader action.
Yeah.
It uses, they borrowed their Argo technology, I suppose you could say, which stands for auto-regulating gas operated. That's Benelli's term. They borrowed that from their shotgun line is what they say for this.
So we've got a piston-driven system then.
Yeah.
So the gas will be bled off into the action to drive the piston to push back against the bolt to drive it back, and then the return spring is in the butt, and that pushes it forward to pick up your round and put it locked into battery for your next shot. There's your semi-automatic action.
Very good. And it's got 3 lugs, a 3-lug rotary bolt in there.
3 lugs?
Yes.
Boy, they're just coming up with every permutation in the books here, don't they?
It seems like it.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's a nice classic 3-lug system right there. I can see that.
Okay.
Plunger ejector. Yeah.
22-inch steel barrel. It's free floating.
Pretty light barrel too, pretty thin.
Yeah, it is pretty thin. I noticed that pulling it out of the box. It's notable there.
Say it's free floating?
Free floating, they say.
I can see the gap along it.
Yeah.
Nice and even on both sides. That's good.
It's a nice gloss blued finish there, and it is threaded also. So for folks that want to put a suppressor on there.
Okay, or a brake.
Yeah.
And I see they've got a couple of holes tapped in the front for putting a front sight on if you wanted it.
Sure.
And here.
Yep.
We've got no sights. I suppose they offer either way.
Yep.
All right.
So that it's a cross bolt safety as well. It's got a synthetic stock on this one, and there are there's some adjustability there in the comb height.
I see that you could change the comb out probably snap it off and put it on
I
just
think
like with a
so.
shotgun. Well, that's their Comfort Tech system.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. They've got all these little chevrons in here that are sort of absorbing, like
Oh, okay,
little
okay.
shock absorbers. So this thing should shoot pretty mild.
Yeah.
Should be a mild recoiler.
We mentioned the 5-round magazine. It weighs 7.3 pounds and it measures 44 inches. That's the total length of it.
Okay.
And the list price on it is $1,829.
That's a pricey one.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Well, let's see if it shoots better than the Browning did.
Yeah. And I don't know if you want to test that trigger too before we load it up. See what the
that is
like you said, it's a
idea.
2-stage trigger, right?
All right. Okay, we're unloaded. Safely pointed down range. Push the safety button off. Hi-yo silver. Here we go. 4.
4. All right.
4. 4 for 4.
Very nice.
Give her one more try here. See how consistent we are. Four and a quarter. I'll believe them.
All righty.
Now I want to try one myself just to get a feel for it. So
the dry fire.
Yeah, I just want to squeeze it. Yeah, there's the first stage there. I got you on that. Yeah, a little bit of creep. It's not heavy. I can feel that. But a little bit of creep after that take up. So let's try one more. We've got our take up right there. That's easy. You see how my fingers move?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And then you've got the tension. Then it's yep, a little bit of creep. Yeah, there's just a fraction of a little creep there before it finally breaks. So if you shoot it, be aware of that.
Okay.
We'll load up our Remington 150 grain. Three shots. I already like the magazine on the Browning better.
Well, let's see if this one knows how to eject.
Yeah, eject would be good, wouldn't it?
Seems
a novel concept.
Seems like a reasonable request.
Which target would you like me to shoot at?
Maybe on the lower half of that left target.
The lower half of the left target?
Yeah, whichever one. You go right or left or whatever you...
I might as well go to the left.
Okay. Boom, okay.
Got it. He ejected nicely.
Good. Okay, are you shooting at the bullseye, that lower left?
Yes.
Okay.
Did I hit on the left edge?
Yeah, so that one shot about 1.5 inches left and a 3/4 of an inch low. The first one shot high to the right. Okay, that's 1.5 inches high, half inch left.
Yes. Now that does not look good at all.
No, that looks like about a 4-inch group, 3-4-inch group, somewhere in there.
Yeah, I was going to say clean barrel, but we zeroed this thing and gave it a couple fouling shots when we zeroed it. So that is not looking good.
We got a high of 28.98, a low of 28.49. Average is 28.79.
The had a 10 foot per second higher average than the Browning with that load, but it didn't have as high of a high.
How interesting is that 10 foot per second increase? I mean, it practically is, if I'm out hunting, is that gonna change my decision making?
50 feet per second won't hurt you until you're starting to get out there at 400 yards and things.
Okay.
Then it starts to make a difference because you're increasing your drop more quickly.
Mm-hmm.
So the velocity change can exacerbate that. But for typical hunting conditions out to 400 yards, if you're going to find it in your factory loads, you're going to get just what we're seeing here. You know, one time you get a low of 28.32, then you get a high of a same ammunition at a different gun of 28.79, and not going to make that much difference when you're hunting game.
Yeah.
Now, if you're a precision shooter, you want to get those numbers down to no more than a spread of 10 feet per second from load. What if you go 20 shots and stay within 10? Oh my, that's nice.
Okay.
Precision ammunition that's consistent.
Gotcha.
That's what you're shopping for there.
Okay.
Okay, there were the 150s from the Remington. We'll police our brass afterwards. Let's move up to the 165 grain Federal trophy bonded tip. And again, I am liking this scope for that tiny little center dot. It's just really nice to put that right on the target. I don't know that it's going to be an advantage in hunting. I think it won't be, because it's a little too much fine detail that you have to look for to see it. And I don't think it's going to work in a hunting situation where you want to just, if you have to take a quick shot. But for precision shooting, kind of nice.
Gotcha.
Really have to snap that baby in there. Okay, what do you think? You ready to shoot some more? All right, I think what I will do is hold that fore end down again. It's just challenging to get a hold of that thing in any spot. I'm just going to slide over to the next circle to the right.
Okay, you're right on center, up and down, but you're 2 inches to the 1 3/4 inches to the right. Right on the edge of that circle.
Got it.
Ooh. That one flew way up and to the left.
Oh my gosh.
3 inches high, or 3 inches left, 3 inches high, 3.5 inches high. That one's right in the middle of the two.
Straight up. But gosh, that's like a 3 or 4 inch group out there. Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, it just, I'm not impressed with the accuracy of either one of these.
Yeah, it's true, huh? Neither of them have been overly impressive.
So far, anyway. All right, we're safe.
28.18 for the high, 27.83 for your low, 28.04 for your average.
Not going to be much fun writing the group size down behind these. And the group was...
Right, yeah.
Now, there may be tricks that we don't know. We may need to break these barrels in. I don't know. You can't really condemn a rifle for the first few groups you shoot out of it. And we may not have found the right load for it yet.
Yeah, maybe you like slider loads. I don't know.
Yeah, who knows? And it might like copper better than the gilding metal stuff. But this is pretty much a copperish bullet, coated. They've got it nickel coated.
Now, do you expect a nickel coated bullet to perform dramatically different?
I don't.
Okay.
I really don't. Some people say it's going to be harder on your barrels, but it's not. It depends on the degree of nickel in the alloy. And I don't think reputable companies are going to be manufacturing ammunition that's going to chew up your rifle. I think it's just a slight wash that protects it from tarnishing more than anything. The very next target at that same height, so we're on the right target, lower left circle.
Okay. That's not too bad. That's 1 inch high, 1 inch to the right. Okay. 2 inches left, 2 inches high.
I call both those shots just perfect. I was right on the center and not moving, didn't torque it. Felt great.
That one's almost dead center.
Yeah. But once again, we've got a 3 inch group. Dang.
Yeah, that's probably the better group of the three, I'd say.
Yeah, that's damning with faint praise.
Yeah, and those are the 175s on the Benelli. Okay.
Yeah, run me the numbers on it, and we'll go out and measure some targets, and we'll talk about this.
Is that
thing.
gun safe? We're good. High of 26.93, low of 26.50, average 26.69.
Yeah, getting pretty slow.
Okay.
Let's start with the last one first.
The last one first.
Yeah, 175 grain bullet.
On the Benelli.
Out of the Benelli. Looks like it's coming in at 2.7 something. Yep, that's the longest spread right there.
Yeah, almost 2.7 and a half, 2.75-ish.
Well, once it gets over 2, I don't even count the rest of it.
Okay.
Oh my, 2.7. Oh my gosh. That's horrible. 2.7 inch.
That was a 175s
Yes.
on the Benelli. Okay.
Now, which one's which on these?
This was your 165s.
Oh my gosh. I don't know my caliper goes that far. It's unfortunate, but there it is. We were at 4.5 inches.
Ooh.
Ooh, he's right.
That's how I like my pancakes. If you're shooting pancakes.
Good size cookie. And this are the 150s?
That's it, yeah. What do we got
Yeah,
there?
that's not going to win any prizes either. 3.8.
This might be one of those situations like we see in politics sometimes. You got to just pick the least worst.
But listen, these, for guys that are shooting hogs running through the woods at 50 yards, more than good enough. They're more interested in firepower than they are in precision shooting.
Yeah.
And I think that's where these things sell. They're guys that are hunting in the woods. Back in the days when we did driven hunts for whitetails, one would come running by from here to that post there, 25, 30 yards.
Right.
So if you were hitting we always used to go, if you can hit a 5-gallon bucket at 100 yards, you're good to go deer hunting.
Yeah.
And that's the way we ran in those days.
It's a matter of perspective, I guess.
Yeah. And this isn't to say all these rifles are going to shoot that with that kind of grouping. I've heard of guys having MOA auto-loading rifles.
Yeah.
You know, maybe they tuned up their ammo, or maybe they put 50 rounds down the barrel to get it to really start shooting. Because a lot of times rifles won't shoot all that well until you've really broken those barrels in. So that could be going on. So who knows for sure. Yeah. Now, what did we do with that Browning?
All right. The Browning, if I recall, I think, okay.
I mean, it's like, this isn't bad, right?
This was one group.
Yep. Okay.
That was, I think that was the last group.
Yes,
so let's work our way backwards.
That.
That's the 175 grains.
That one's just going to live right with that Benelli. Those two are twins on this job. That's pretty close right there. And we are looking at 4.2. Ooh, baby.
4.2.
All right.
Still in pancake range.
So then what? How did these three go? 4. These two and this one were one.
I think it was this one. I think it was the farther one actually, because I think this one went with
this. This one's this one.
Yeah, that one's that one. I'd like to think this was this one.
Yes, those three are consistent. These are the groups. Did we shoot an extra group? Or how come we're coming up with 4?
Well, these were all, these lower ones were all, we were all up here. Okay, that's right. So we had one group there.
Or this.
Yes. Then we had second one you adjusted right, and I think it was this one. I think it was
2 touching. The 50s were bang, bang, bang.
Okay. Or it might have been this one. Might have been this closer one.
Yeah.
If we give it the benefit of the doubt, but I don't know. Yeah, it's
getting down there to 1 1/3 inches. It looked like 1.3
if it's that closer one.
Yeah, if it's that.
And if it's not that,
then we're going to go out to here and it's going to be like 1 1.7 inches, 1.7, 1.3. So right around 1.5 inches.
Yeah.
1.5 inches. And then this one is just wash.
And then we got these.
Yeah, and that's another 1.5 inches to 2 inch. Almost out there to 2 if it's on that one. Yeah, you're at 2.1. So nothing to write home about. Let's give one of them 1.5 inches and the other one 2. 2.2.
Okay.
We're still not winning any awards, but we're beating the Benelli. That's interesting. Once again, folks, this is why I shoot bolt action rifles.
Which is what we're going to see in the next episode. You're welcome.
Real rifles, here we come.
All right, Ron. So I know maybe we weren't overly impressed by the accuracy, but there are some things to like about these rifles. So give me some pros and cons and who you might recommend a rifle like that Benelli for.
Boy, before we go there, I want to talk a bit about the history of the 30-06 auto-loading rifle.
Fair enough.
We've got to go back to World War II and the Garand or the Garand rifle.
Yep.
I mean, that was a workhorse, and some of those, as Joseph showed us in a previous video we did, talking about the history of the 1903 bolt action Springfield rifle, and that was in World War I. And then we transitioned to the auto-loading rifle, which was a real big deal in World War II and helped us win that conflict. So that thing has got a stellar reputation. And Joseph showed us one that was set up for match shooting. There's a lot of guys who do this. They use the Garand auto-loading 30-06 rifle, match shoot, and he said he's gotten some 1-inch groups out of it. So auto-loaders can do it. And as I mentioned earlier, I've known guys who say, hey, I've got a Browning, a BAR, modern style, hunting rifle in 30-06, and it shoots 1.25-inch groups. But it may be that we need to break them in. We may need to get the different load, tweak them. I don't know. I'm just not an auto loader the way I am a lever action and a bolt action shooter.
Right.
But generally, right out of the box, I'm going to get more precision out of any bolt action rifle out there than these things.
Okay.
And pretty much the same with the levers. I've noticed my lever actions will pretty much shoot 1.5 inches.
Yeah.
Whereas these things, I don't know. They're just not doing it, you know?
Right.
2 to 4.
Yeah.
But again, going back to the shooting driven game, if you want to shoot quickly and often on feral hogs like that, or anything else that needs to be shot, boy, I like it. Obviously, you just so quick, bang, 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 bang. And the recoil is very well controlled, especially in this one. It's not bad at all in the AR. But this Benelli really controls the recoil.
Very nice.
I kind of thought all this stuff that they doodle around with is like, come on. But boy, is it a smooth shooter.
Yeah.
Yeah, you just hardly know it's recoil. I would have sworn I was shooting maybe a 25-06 or even a 243.
Oh, nice.
And there's no break on it or anything.
Yeah.
And it's got a light barrel. So got that going for it. And but what I like about the Browning, if I can grab that for a second, I just love that. I wish they'd put that on more rifles. That is sweet. And I like the look of it and the feel of it, but it's not ejecting. And again, as we said, their Browning will definitely fix that for you. I don't know if it's in the mechanism up front. We're not going to tear them down to find out. Now, some people might say, well, I tell you who some people is, my wife. Can you say bad things about a rifle? I'm only reporting what's happening here, folks. I'm not running down either one of these brands or necessarily even the rifle. We're just reporting on what we're finding. Yeah. And we're not experts on autoloaders. If you have one of these rifles or any other auto-loading 30-06 rifle that shoots really well, write in and let us know. Did you have to do anything with it to make it shoot better? Or was it just shooting that well out of the box? Is this a consistent thing, or did you just get lucky? I don't see any reason why they wouldn't shoot well or better than what we are getting here. And perhaps if we tried 3 or 4 more different loads, it would start happening. Yeah, maybe so. Now, before we put these up, do you want to shoot them just to get the feel for them?
Oh, sure. Why not?
I figured you
I had to have a hard time saying no.
All right. We've got the Benelli and cradle. Now, do you want to try, since they don't really shoot all that precisely anyway, you want to just stand up and shoot them as if you were on a hunt in France or something?
Let's try that.
That would be cool.
Let's give that a whirl. You can critique me on my standing position. You want to put that on?
No, we won't need to see anything.
Not bothered.
I'm going to have you try to shoot that steel target, at white one at 200 yards.
Oh, dang it. All right, let's see. Let's see. Okay, I see where you're going here.
We get enough of a wind coming here from the left. It's kind of behind us, though.
There we go.
But I think you got a bit of a left drift, so just hold on the left edge of that target if you can.
The left edge. You're saying shoot at the
white target up by that sagebrush right there. The
little
white circle.
Yep. That's what
you want to hold.
Okay. And hold to the left of it.
Yeah, just hold on the left edge of it if you can control it well enough to stay on the left edge.
Well, and tell me, critique my standing position.
Okay.
All right. Let me. I want to make sure I'm.
Yeah, that's good. You just want a reasonable spread on your feet so that you've got a little bit of anchor left and right or forward and aft. Yep. And there's 2 schools of thought here. One of them is keep your elbow in, and all the new AR shooters
like this,
are shooting
down?
That way because they don't have to deal with recoil. I like the old style up, and then that lets you get the stock up into your shoulder pocket a little better and brings the rifle up to your cheek.
Gotcha. Okay.
I don't know. You could take your pick on it, but that's what I would recommend.
Okay. Gotcha.
Okay. Other than that, I think you're fine.
You got ears?
I got ears, but if I put them on, they'll be better. More effective when they're wearing them.
That'll help.
Here we go, folks. Fire in the hole.
Okay. No, I missed that sucker.
I didn't see anything.
I was moving around a lot. I could feel myself moving around. How do I stabilize that?
Well, that's the challenge of shooting offhand. You're standing up and you're wiggling all over, right?
That's exactly right.
You got another round in there?
I got another round in there. It's unsafe.
I don't know if I'm going to shoot it, but I want to just see how closely I can hold on that thing.
I wonder if I need to choke up farther on my front arm, or maybe I just need to do some push-ups.
Yeah, some guys like to really stretch it out. I usually like it about right there. Turn that thing on. I'm going to try it.
Okay. You ready?
I'm ready.
I'll do slow-mo, so tell me when you're ready.
Okay, go. I think I missed.
No movement.
No movement.
Hey, look at that. I shot just as good as Ron.
We're both champions, I'll tell you that.
Shoot one from the bench. Okay, let me get situated.
So if you're looking at that 200-yard circle, aim up here. You're going to be kind of high, but not completely off of it, and kind of on the edge into the wind, but not completely off.
Gotcha.
Up in that quadrant, we'll call it.
If it were a square, right, kind of in the center of that upper left quadrant. Okay. You got to kind of pop that in there, don't you? There it goes.
Score!
There we go. That felt better. Boom.
Score!
Nice.
There you go. We're complaining about the accuracy or the inaccuracy of this rifle, and you're hitting a, 8-inch plate out there at 200 yards both times.
Yeah, that's good enough for a lot of stuff, right?
Well,
Shoot.
Golly. What are we complaining about?
I don't know. I mean, I like those.
Oh, I know what we're complaining about. You forgot to apply for your steel plate tag from Idaho Fish and Game.
Shoot.
We can't air this. You'll get arrested.
Oh, no, daggone it. Okay.
All right. I can't let Chase upstage me, so I'm going to let the Browning try to hit that plate. And if I miss it, we're not going to air this show. Oh, dearie me.
You tell me when you're about ready.
Yes, sir. I'm going to dial this Maven up, run out of excuses. I am even going to adjust my parallax. It's got that. Oh, nice. I'm running out of excuses now. All right. Don't fail me, Mr. BAR. Ready to shoot.
Rolling. Camera's
rolling.
Yes.
You're never going to see this show. We're not. No, not going to show it.
It can be done.
All right. I was not shooting the ammo for which this thing is zeroed.
That's right.
it.
Yep, that's it.
You any idea where that didn't hit?
No, I do not.
All right. We're going to try again. You rolling?
Yep. There it is.
I forgot this thing was shooting high. Remember those? It was shooting high. I held for the bottom of the plate this time.
All right, we'll call it even. I accept.
All right, folks. Those were the auto loaders. Obviously, they're not going to win the precision shooting competition, but they are fun to shoot.
Yeah.
And if you like to shoot running game and you're working inside of 200 yards, as these steel plates just showed us,
right?
Despite these, what we consider to be dismal groups, we're hitting that 200-yard target pretty consistently. So
even as an amateur, I managed to hit a couple.
Actually, you're better than the non-amateur.
Hey, well, just today only, special.
But do write in and let us know what you love about your auto-loading rifle and how well it shoots. It'd be fun to figure that stuff out. And maybe we'll do more work later on auto-loading rifles. But those are the auto-loaders. Our next show is going to start in on the precision shooters, bolt-action rifles.
That's right.
And we've got a nice stack of them you're going to want to see. So thanks for watching this episode. Stay tuned for the next one on 30-06 week when Chase and I will be showing you the bolt-action rifles of the... We're going to start off with the less expensive ones?
Yeah, we'll start out with some budget-friendly ones, and then we'll work our way up to the kind that
cost a few more bucks.
Much as a small car.
All right, we'll see you next time. Meantime, hunt honest and shoot straight.